Well, my opinion is that what you set out to do is to build a business. Now, if it turns out that at a point you build it as a family business because you have a family line that is interested in it, that's good for you. But I don't think our focus should be more on building it as a family business rather on building successful businesses that will last generations. Personally, I have no sentiments about my children taking over my business. First, I want my children to be the best of themselves and to live their own lives, to fulfill their dreams and their ambition in the best way that they can. Now, if it does happen that my business falls into part of that vision and that dream, good for them. But if it doesn't, what I want to build is a business that will outlive me, and is in putting the structures in place to make sure that the business can go on whether there's an Awosika in it or not. That's when I would have left a legacy. So whether it's somebody that comes from outside who works in the business and takes it to the next level, and there's structures where you can secure the business for your family without your family being involved in management. I don't believe that you should put people in management just because they bear one surname if they're not competent for it or if they don't have the capacity for it. And there are many times that it's like that. There are many times that our children don't necessarily share our dreams. We put them in bondage, so to speak, when we force them to take over and feel a sense of responsibility or condemnation by not doing. There are many people that feel like they're in bondage to family businesses. They're not really interested. And you know what? Even in the most developed, I think the Italian model is the most developed in terms of family business model. They are the most successful at it. But even they are having situations where families, look at like Gucci. A lot of people know Gucci, you know the brand and all of that. You will always hear Gucci. But the Gucci family, at this stage, have sold the majority stake to Louis Vuitton. Why? The person who is in charge right now realizes that the next generation are not really interested. And to secure that the business will continue to go on, in their lifetime, they have taken a decision. And you can put a lot into that deal. You can decide that the name of the business will never be changed. It's where it is best suited, and there's value in it. And you would hold a stake that will always belong to your family. We all talk about Cadbury and all of that. But Mr. Cadbury and his generations that started the business over 150 years ago and all of that, Cadbury has now become sold to Mondelez Group. But is there a Cadbury running the business? No. Do they own some shares in the business? They probably do. But that's even tradable. It's up to them at a point. It's the institution building that we should be concerned about. If in building the institution you find individuals that are interested and fit into it, that's great. You look at like the Leadway Assurance story. Their father started the business and he did a great job, but his first son, he had come into the business somewhere along the line, but he walked through the ranks.
So if you do find a child who's interested in the business, what's the best way to integrate a child into the family business? Should he start from the shop floor or from the boardroom?
I think first and foremost, it's always good that they go and work somewhere else first. Learn what I call the discipline and the humility of office. Learn what a normal work environment is, to submit to work with other people without any airs or rights. And as I was using the Odukale, the Leadway case as an example, Tunde, who is Oye's younger brother, he spent most of his years in companies that were involved with investment, ventures and trust and banks and all of that, before he then went into the Leadway Assurance Company, handling investment for the business. Now, the learnings and the skills was not gathered in their business. It was gathered outside of it. And even as they came in, they went from level to level before they got to the top of. But the thing is, when you do that, the people who work with them even respect them, because first, they know their onions. They're qualified to occupy the position. They're competent. They're capable. They're smart. You don't have some idiot who has a surname that you have to call an executive director who is not even qualified to be an officer in a company. Invariably, we destroy ambitions and dreams for our children when we do that. Because when you give to children what they haven't earned, the misuse is inevitable. When you don't know the value of something, you will misuse it.
You talked about skills just now. What skills do you need to succeed in business?
Wow, I think it's a combination of a myriad of things. First, you need a sense of vision. You need commitment. You need perseverance. You need tolerance. You need a teachable spirit. You need to be a learner, because no matter what you know, somebody else knows something that you don't know. And sometimes it's your driver. Sometimes it's the cleaner in the office. Sometimes it's a child. So you have to be very open-minded and approachable. You must have doggedness. You must be resilient to a large extent, because there are days in business you feel like it's time to hang your boat.
Do people learn more from their successes or from their failures?
What you failed at, in quotes, is something you've learned what not to do or how not to do it. And sometimes what we call failure is a transit point to something else. And there's no way you will get to where you're going except if you fell into the place of that failure. It's also sometimes a place of re-evaluation or a place of humility. And it teaches you something. So it's really about, is the cup half full or is the cup half empty? Your view and your approach is different. For me, it's always half full.
Where do you see your business in the next 25 years?
My vision is to have in some way created a group that helps to define Nigeria as a net exporter of furniture and related industries. To have helped to harness the talents of so many young people in the industry who lack the capacity but have the capacity, but they don't have the resource to make it happen. To create a net pool of skills and excellent production from this country that can be sold to the rest of the world. And to build an institution that has the opportunity to intervene across different parts of related value chains for the area of business I have chosen to play. And it should have nothing to do with me.
Mrs. Awosika, we have our very best wishes and we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And that's our program. We thank you for watching. We ask you to please join us again next week when View from the Top returns. But between now and then, let's continue the conversation online at channelstv.com. Please also follow me on Twitter at ModeleSY so you know who my next guest is. And so you can send in your questions for the Public Probe segment. Thank you again and have a good day.